Ladies and gentlemen, hello, welcome back to another episode of Nerf Versus on my channel. My name is Luke Triton, and today we're going to be comparing the N-Strike Raider to the Modulus Mediator. Now, these are both very interesting blasters, both old and new, but I do see a lot of similarities in these blasters, and I'm sure you can figure out straight away. And I thought this would be an interesting video because there are definitely some good things and some bad things about both of these blasters. So what we're going to quickly do is look at the similarities of both of these blasters, and then we're going to look at them individually to get some more details, and at the end we will decide of the two which one is better. So they are both spring action, they are both pump action, they both have slam fire, they are both magazine fed, and they are both inserted on the side of the blaster. And I think that is one of the key points to something that is a pump action blaster, because when you look at something like the Alpha Trooper, it's definitely arranged very differently to allow the magazine to be inserted from the bottom. So first we're going to look at the Raider, then we're going to look at the Modulus. Now normally I would look at just positive things, but for this video I need to look at some negatives as well to make the full comparison fair and make an ultimate decision at the end. So starting off with the Raider, this is a very interesting blaster. Now if you want to, you can substitute this for the Rampage in your own opinion. It is a reskin of the Raider, and the new one has come out with, I believe, an 18-dart stick magazine and a reskin of the Retaliator stock. But I'm using the Raider because this is the blaster that I have. So if I'm going to compare it, I want to start off with just the blaster itself. So let me take the magazine out, take off that stock, and look at, oh, make sure it doesn't fall over. Can we put that there? There we go, that works. So this is the core blaster itself. It is an N-Strike blaster, which means it's very old. But I do believe this still holds its own, especially as the re-release for the Rampage. Clearly it still works because Nerf is deciding to re-release it, but for what it offers, it's still really cool, especially for modding. So it's fairly lengthy as well, so long as I'm not standing on anything. It has a good amount of length to it. This is definitely primary worthy. No barrel extension point, of course, because this is a very long barrel for when the magazine is inserted. It has two tactile rails on the top, very cool, and of course that's almighty stock attachment point. This is very interesting because it was the first blaster to introduce slam fire, which I think was revolutionary, not just for Nerf but for dart blasters in general. And it's definitely paved the way for more blasters that have come afterwards, again looking at the Alpha Trooper and of course the new Modulus Mediator. Now if we're going to look at the Raider in particular, we do need to look at everything it has to offer. So it does come with one attachment, which is the collapsing stock. And it is definitely one of the most popular stocks, especially for younger Nerfers, because of the ability to change its position. So something like this for a very young Nerfer would probably be more comfortable because they're a smaller person. But someone like myself, who's a much bigger person, might want that full extension. So something like this is very comfortable. The Raider CS-35 also comes with a drum magazine. The second largest magazine that Nerf has ever released. This is the 35 dart drum. Of course, the new 50 dart drum was released with the Titan CS-50. I've yet to own one of these at the time of recording, but this is still a very cool magazine, and it works especially for sideways fed blasters. So hang on, there we go, fire off so I'm not worrying on my springs. Now this is interesting because it's kind of specially designed for the Raider when it was released, and it's featured sideways instead of, if I actually grab one of these ones, there we go, I've got another drum. So this is the 25 dart drum, and you can see that it's centered, where this one isn't. So this drum is obviously better suited for sideways fed blasters, like the Raider of course, and the new Modulus. And I think it's a bad decision for the fact that I had to do that. You can of course swap this out for other drums, but for those extra 5 darts, you know, you have to make the decision, will it feed properly and you just pray that it works, or would you rather go for a sideways fed blaster and get better performance out of it. Oh, put that back down there. And one last point for the Raider in particular. If you really wanted to go for a Raider, especially with this full package, good luck finding one, because the only place you can probably find one is on eBay. This is a very old blaster. Of course you can get the new Rampage, but you are missing out on a drum and a much better stock. The performance again is better, but for most Nerf wars you're probably going to be taking part in, that performance isn't really going to matter. So that is everything I have to say for the Raider. And now we'll look at the Modulus Mediator, and this is a very interesting blaster because again I do see a lot of similarities in this blaster to the Raider. So let me take off the two attachments that are on this blaster, make sure it doesn't fall over. There we Go, very good. So this is the core blaster itself. As you can see, it's very compact, very small, very thin as well, which I said in my main review video. It does come with a 6 darts magazine, which is fair enough because if a magazine is going to be poking out from the side, if you have a long 18 dart stick mag, that's probably going to come out to there. That's going to get knocked against a few things and potentially cause a few problems. Something like the drum, whilst it's a big old drum, you know that's not going to knock anything, you can be more careful, and you're holding more darts. So, of course, pump action, slam fire enabled, just like the Raider as mentioned earlier. But this is what you get on its own. The Mediator, the stock, and the barrel are all sold individually, which I think is a big problem. Again, that's something I mentioned in my review, and I really hope Nerf doesn't market more blasters like that in the future. But for what this is, it's a very small, compact slam fire blaster. I've not had any jams with this. I've pumped as fast as I can, and it really gets foam darts out there, and I think that's brilliant. I've suffered a few jams with the Raider in the past. I've never fired a Rampage, so I can't say for that one, but this is flawless. I'm really pleased with how this product is turning out. And now to look at the attachments for the Mediator, starting off with the stock. This is one of the best stocks Nerf has ever made. So this is very comfortable to have in your shoulders when you're looking down sights. Your cheek isn't getting scratched up. It's very comfortable there as well. Now at the back you can see this massive gap, but that is because it is holding, if I can actually get it out, a spare blaster with 2 shots. It is hammer action, so it's not a jolt reskin, but I think that is very cool. The best thing about this stock, in my opinion, unbelievably, is this little clip here on the side. You could use this as a holster if you really wanted. Now I have put this on the regulator and redubbed my, well, not redubbed, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of remade my regulator basically to be my new main primary using this stock. This is brilliant, especially because of the solidarity of it and that backup shot. Beautiful, absolutely amazing. As for the barrel, this is also a very cool barrel. This holds 3 shots. It is an air tank blaster, so you have to pump this 6 times. You can feel the pressure as you pump it backwards, but moving it forwards you can move with next to no effort. The trigger is this little dot on the side. Let me quickly press this and make sure none of the darts go flying everywhere. There we go. Again, I think this is one of the coolest looking blaster barrels that Nerf has ever made. Very sleek, very cool looking indeed. This top barrel section here can become a grip for when you want to use this on your own. This button on the side is what allows you to move it. You have to push it all the way in for it to turn. Thankfully, it doesn't break or bend if you were going to hold that from the handle and pump it as you were going to use this as your main blaster. And I originally got worried when I first bought this. I thought, right, I need to test this out. If it breaks, that's going to be a problem. But nothing to worry about at all. And again, that's brilliant. Annoyingly, I don't know what blaster I would use this on. Obviously, the Mediator, it looks really good. You know, you get that whole look in there. That's brilliant. But I'm not too sure what else I could put this on. Something like the Rapid Strike is a bit too big. The Regulator a bit too big. Maybe try it on the Strife, but I didn't really like it. I'm just looking down at my other blasters now. I'm just trying to think. The Raven, maybe. Demolisher, probably not because of that missile attachment. It's really difficult to kind of decide what this would go on. Definitely you could, once again, keep it on the Mediator, but that's a bit boring. You want to be able to change it out. It's a toy, for goodness sakes. Customize it. So yeah, that is the 2 attachments that come with this sort of package. But once again, each 3 of these units are sold separately, and that is the biggest problem with the Mediator. So now we come to the end of the video and we decide which of the 2 blasters is the better blaster. Now they both have a lot of good things going for them, they have a lot of bad things going for them. Good things is you can probably find this whole package really cheap online. It's a very good blaster, it comes with a very big drum. The stock is really good as well, still very comfortable. If you're a modder, this is one of the best blasters to go to for modding, and again, for what it is, it's just a beautiful package. If you don't care for the Raider, you can try out the new Elite re-release called the Rampage. I do know that another one has been released recently, so you can probably look into that if you want to actually use a blaster to actually have in your arsenal. As for the Mediator, it's new. It has that special Elite, well, not Elite performance, but the upgraded performance. Altogether, it looks absolutely spectacular. But the biggest downside, as I'll always mention, is the fact that everything is sold separately. That is a pain in the ass. But of these 2 units, which one is better? Personally, I need 2 hands for this. It's the Mediator. Now, I do love this look. I love both of the attachments. The blaster itself is absolutely spectacular. It's only a shame that it's sold individually. I'm going to keep on saying that and say to Nerf, don't ever do that again, because it's very pricey in order to get this complete unit. If you're lucky enough to find it cheap on eBay or anything like that, then good for you. The blaster is definitely still going for cheap as far as I know, and that's probably going to be the cheapest thing out of the 3 units. So yeah, I would definitely pick the Mediator over the Raider / Rampage because of what it offers, and I think it still is a very good blaster. So there we go, that is the end of this episode of Nerf Versus. Bit of a weird one, it has to be said, but I was able to finally get on and do this video because I do see a lot of similarities in these blasters. They both have downfalls, but it's still a video that I believe was worth making. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you all ever so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you all in the next episode. Bye.